Hello, everyone. Hope you're going to be joining us tonight for this, to me, thrilling talk that we're going to do discussing the new Stones album, the Rolling Stones, and it's of course called Hackney Diamonds. And I know Rob's got his copy there. I've got the CD here. He's got the
Not the
12 and Tone's got the green. Another one who puts it upside down. We've had this problem a few times, Tone. It's okay. By the way, hold them up for a while. I just want to say one of the things, Tone. I noticed that the one you have, Tone has the one on green vinyl, and you see it has the legs around it and the arm and everything.
yeah.
And the one that Rob has and I have, because I also have, I didn't open it yet. I'm going to do a video opening mine. I also have the purple Target exclusive, and there's the hand on the bottom.
Right.
So I like the purple vinyl, but I wanted to get the green because I like the legs. I'm a leg man. What can I tell you?
The leg man.
So I don't really know. First of all, Robert S. has a channel you should check out. It's called Robscure, as in obscure. Robscure Music. Check it out. And of course, Beatley Tone has a very good Beatles channel called Beatley Tones
Beatles channel.
Beatles channel. I had it before you came on, and then I forgot it. Beatley Tones Beatles channel. All right. And I see we got some people here joining us. We got let's see, we got so many people. Woodland Goblin, PK, which I haven't seen you in a while. Martin McGrath popped in for a moment. Robbie Detroit, Tiger Man Vinyl, Lee, Nicholas, Groovy Lisa. Okay, Groovy Lisa.
Hello, everyone.
Says, I love this album. I was impressed. Well, you're not the only one, apparently. I gotta say. So let's see. You can talk about the album with us if you want, but I don't even know where to start. Well, we all did videos on this,
Yes.
And with the three of us anyway, it's unanimous that we all like the album pretty much,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
you know what? I'll start if you want.
Please.
The Glitter Twins are back.
The Glitter Twins.
Glimmer.
Glimmer.
I'm saying Glitter Twins.
Maybe I shouldn't start.
The Glimmer Twins.
Yeah, they're back, and they're back. This is such a good album. This is actually, I think, their best album since. And I know a lot of people saying Tattoo You. I go back to Steel Wheels because I didn't really care for a complete album after Steel Wheels. And there are some before that. But this album is basically throwback to their 70s and 80s sound. The artwork I love on here. It gives me a sort of 80s vibe, actually. And I know a lot of people don't particularly care.
Yeah, people say they don't like the artwork. I like the artwork. Okay, I like that.
I like it. I've seen the gatefold. I don't particularly like the gatefold.
I'm hoping, Tone, can you show us the gatefold? How bad that is?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Let me blow this up. Look at that! Wow,
it leaves a lot to be desired.
Wow, no photos.
What were they thinking? What a waste of a gatefold! They could have had some pictures or something.
Absolutely. What a fantastic album! After 18 years, we don't get an original studio album. We get this album, and I know we've had other artists that have come back after many years with an album. ABBA comes to mind, Tears for Fears, but the Rolling Stones are showing how it's done.
Yeah. I mean, I go back even further than you, Rob. I mean, the last Stones album that I really loved was Some Girls. That was the last one that I bought.
Yeah, I said Tattoo You in my thing. I did. I also have Steel Wheels. As a matter of fact, well, I had it earlier. I don't have it. Yes, I do.
That's a 1989 album.
1989, Steel Wheels. I actually like 3 songs on here. The ones that you're most familiar with: Mixed Emotions, Almost Hear You Sigh, and Rock in a Hard Place. Those are the 3. But I'm not familiar with the rest of it. This is the first. The Rolling Stones. I've always liked them. I've always liked them a lot, and I would say that I need to listen to all their albums in their entirety, but I've heard a lot of them, and I never find an album in its entirety, every track that I like the same. This one, all tracks on this album, I like them all, wall to wall, and that's never happened before with me with a Stones album. How about you, Tone?
There's nothing horrible on this album at all. There are tracks that I like a lot better than some of the others. I'm not a massive fan of the final track, the Rolling Stones Blues, and
me either. That's my least of all of them. Yeah.
And I normally really like the Stones country stuff because I think Jagger's got a great country voice, great voice for country. But Dreamy Skies, that hasn't really clicked with me yet. But those two really are the only two stragglers, I think. But I kind of missed the point. One of my subscribers on my video said about the Rolling Stones Blues that it would be a great, it's a great ending. If this is their last album, then go back to the song that they got their name from. And I completely missed that point. I have to.
I made that point in my video.
Yeah. Yes.
I was kind of, I was held back by it just by the fact that it was just such a loose little thing with an acoustic guitar and a harmonica. Right. There was no drums, no bass, or no electric guitar or anything like that. So it just sounded like a little bit of a throwaway to me. But maybe that is the whole point.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I gotta say that's my least favorite thing on the album. I don't even consider it part of the album, really. I like to think that the album ends with the Lady Gaga song that she's on, and I forget all the names right now. Sweet Sounds of Heaven. I like to think that's the end of the album. But when they put that other one on, that's the Muddy Waters song, where they got the name Rolling Stone Blues. Like you said, some people say that's maybe a hint that they're kind of like saying goodbye. I know they've got other material. There's more material that they have. I think there's even another Paul song or McCartney on it. But I would rather, if it was up to me, guys, I'm thinking just put those out as some other kind of like extra fun stuff. Something.
Do the Ringo approach. And
but don't make a proper album. Let this be your last proper album because this is going out high.
Maybe they could do something like McCartney has done with New and Egypt Station. He puts out the main album, and then a few months later there's a new expanded version with a few songs that they left off. If this isn't the, if they've got songs left over, then I guess we can kind of assume that they're not as good as these ones because they've been left off this album.
Yeah, maybe.
That could be. That definitely could be.
Before we get, so many things to talk about. Plus, I'm looking at some comments. I just love Mick Jagger's voice on here. I don't know if it's been in any way enhanced. People are telling me it has not been enhanced. It's just the way he sings it. But he sounds great. My girlfriend, this is important before I forget, my girlfriend, every time I play a Rolling Stones song, in a car or something, if it comes on the radio, she likes a few songs. She likes Ruby Tuesday and Satisfaction maybe, but she's basically not a big fan of the Stones. She does not like Mick Jagger's voice because she's a singer and she thinks he can't sing and all this and etc. So she listened to this in the car with me and she liked the album. After this third song, she said, "These are good songs." I said, "Yeah," and he sounds so good. And I said, "Are you kidding? You never said he sounded good in your life." So, said he doesn't sound like he's 80. He sounds young. He sounds good and vibrant, and so she likes it, and that's saying something.
Right. I've heard that they used some pitch
correction.
It's not auto-tune per se, although I don't know enough about auto-tune to know if that's a component of it. But I think they did some enhancement. But you know what? The songwriting is great. His vocals sound great. The album in itself, And we can get into the title and the songs later. Perhaps.
Yeah, we can talk
it's
about
not
the
a
songs
concept
themselves
album, but it's
later.
very cohesive album.
I like the production on here. I know.
Yes.
Every review I've seen has pretty much been positive. Critics and fans, with some exceptions. There was one horrendous review by some guy at Pitchfork. I don't know if you read it. He called this 12 duds. 12 polished duds.
Wow.
He didn't like any of the songs on it. And he was an older guy. I looked him up to see. I said, "Who is this? Is this somebody that doesn't like this kind of stuff?"
Some Taylor Swift fan.
Well, and apparently no, he's an older gentleman. But yeah, man, I don't know what to say. I love. I know. I'll stop after I gush a little bit. But I love the tightness of this, the production of this. I love that there are hooks and choruses and things that stay in my mind. I like the lyrics. The more I listen to it, I've listened to it about 4 times now. And every time I listen to it, I hear more in the lyrics that I didn't hear before. A lot of them are about being older and and getting on with it kind of thing. I just
Which
like
we can
everything
relate
about,
to.
yeah, so that helps. I like everything about everything about this straight through.
I do too. I like, and it's very unusual because we were talking a little bit before about the Stones albums, and I like the Stones, and many of their albums have absolutely amazing songs, but there are very, very few Stones albums that I can listen to from start to finish. This is one of them.
Yeah, for me. That's what I found.
I can listen to, and I'm telling you, there are not many. Off the top of my head, Beggar's Banquet, which is actually my favorite Stones album. Black and Blue, surprisingly, and Some Girls.
Yeah.
And now this.
Yeah, I mean, I almost at this point want to call it my favorite Stones album, and that's supposed to be sacrilegious. Like, how in the world could you pick this to be the? But right now, that's how I'm feeling, because I'm feeling it. Tony, I want to get some more input from you on
Yeah, just a couple of things that have been and gone. I from what I understand, that the auto tune is like a standard bit of studio kit now, and all vocals, including the vocals of young artists, seem to go through it. It just seems to be a thing that producers use these days. I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's something that I've read in the past, that it's always used, not necessarily just for the old guys whose voices are sort of going. The other thing that I wanted to say was about Mick Jagger's voice is there are singers where they haven't got like the perfect voice for singing, but they have. There's a difference between having a great voice and being a great singer, I think, and I think that's something to do with the delivery of the song. And Jagger is a brilliant deliverer of a song. He hasn't got the perfect voice, so I want to say that as well. But the way that he delivers a song is what makes it great.
Great, I agree.
Yeah, and as far as it being the best album, I think that you kind of we've got to live with it for a while and see. I think.
Oh, I'm okay. I've lived with the other ones already.
Yeah, time will tell whether it is the the best album. I mean, I don't really like skip. If I'm playing an album, I don't like a record album. I don't really like skipping tracks. I play it from start to finish.
Me too. I like to do that.
Same. Regardless. The skipping of tracks was like a luxury that CD brought us, and we never used to have it in the old days when we bought records. We played them from start to finish, regardless. And so as far as albums that go that I would listen to from start to finish, it's probably all of them. But my favourites are like Beggar's Banquet, Let It Bleed, Sticky Fingers, Exile. I'm a big fan of Goat's Head Soup. I also really like Black and Blue as well.
Okay.
And all the 70s stuff I really love. I really love all the 70s stuff.
And that's what this arguably, right? This is what this sounds like. It's close to the 70s or 80s, this album.
Definitely. And this album has it all. This has got rock and gospel and rock and punk.
And the country song, which I love that
rock
song.
And country honk. And did I mention rock? I mean,
yeah, more rock. Yeah,
but it's got everything. And Andrew Watt, who was the producer, I think he did an amazing job with the production on this. And he's worked with a number of different artists, Elton John, Paul McCartney, who's, we'll be seeing more from their collaboration, I guess, in the future. He's worked with Dua Lipa and some other current artists. And he's been known to use auto-tune. He used it on Ozzy Osbourne's album, which I'm drawing a blank on now. Help me out. What's it called? Patient Number 9. Patient Number 9. And he used it on the Elton John and Britney Spears collaboration, the song they did, "Hold Me Closer," which you may or may not know. But what Elton's been doing lately is he's taking snippets of songs like, Tiny Dancer, "Hold Me Closer," Tiny Dancer. So he's taking that and other songs, combining them and changing the name basically and calling it something from the lyrics, like in this case, "Hold Me Closer." And he did it with Dua Lipa as well. But thankfully, Andrew Watt has not used that type of real auto-tune on this. And the Stones sound like the Stones.
Yeah, they do. It sounds fresh. I mean, I just like the way it sounds. If it is a little slick, it's a little on the slick side, I think.
A little.
To me, anyway. And that's okay. I'm all right with it in this case.
As a matter of fact, Andrew Watt, now I think about it, I think he co-wrote the first 3 songs. He gets co-write credits for the first 3.
Okay.
And the first 3 are great. I love we can talk about the songs.
Yeah, we'll get to the songs individually. Let's Lynn Cassidy, hello Lynn, says, are there any ballads on the new Stones album?
Yes.
There are.
Yes. The first one that comes up is the third song. I was talking about the first 3, "Depending on You." That's a nice ballad, that in that sort of country type vein, isn't it?
I didn't
remember now.
The country one's "Dreamy Skies," isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Dreamy Skies, which
I knew something with a D, but
I want to talk about it so bad.
That's the country ballad, but you're right. "Depending on You" is a ballad. It's just it's a full band ballad.
Yes, right.
Just a pop ballad, I guess. And then you got the Keith Richards one as well. Was it "Tell Me Straight"?
"Tell Me Straight," yes.
I love that.
I love that song.
Well, that one is my least. But when I say least, I still like it. I do like it. I just might, if I was going to put them in order, that might be the last favorite.
You mean after the Rolling Stone Blues?
Well, I don't really count that. I look at that as something they tagged on, kind of like to give a message, maybe.
It is. Well, let's face it. When Keith and Mick got together and formed this band, they were called the Blues Boys. Then they got Brian and I guess Charlie joined right away, and they Brian happened to look down at the Muddy Waters album, and he said we're called the Rolling Stones, and the name stuck. But when you put a song like that on at the end, and I've heard a couple people mention, as you did, Joe, that they kind of wish that "The Sweet Sound of Summer" was like the last song on there.
Yeah, that's a good way to go out for your career.
Well, I'm not sure it is, because honestly, I don't know if I want
Lady Gaga.
The last song on a studio album by the Stones to have Lady Gaga on it.
Yeah.
Or any other guest, because that's not typical of the Stones. So they're giving us something. It's the last Stones song. It's a song that gave them their name. It's a blues number. I think it's a perfect way to finish the album. Hello, Jordan.
Hi, Jordan.
I like, I don't like, I'm not wild about the track. It's, the Rolling Stone and the blues itself. It's not, it's short. It's okay. Right. It's the roots that they had, and it's kind of like full circle kind of thing is why I like it. Hey, Penny Lane.
Hello, Penny Lane.
Yeah, I agree. We agree. What I didn't see, there was the Stones played a surprise appearance at a small club. Did anybody see any of that? I didn't.
No, that was in New York. In New York, wasn't it?
Yes, that was a pretty exclusive invitation only type of gig.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
I'm just putting up some opinions,
Some of the records are a bit bloated, not this one.
Here.
And it's, and it's different that the Stones have so many guest musicians as well on this one.
Yeah, did they ever do that before to this extreme? You got Stevie Wonder, Elton John, Paul McCartney,
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm not a Stones expert, but I know I don't. It seems like they really just pulled out all the stops for this.
Right. I mean, if we try to forget Mick Jagger and David Bowie doing Dancing in the Street.
Oh yeah, I didn't care. I remember when that premiered during Live Aid, and it was like, no, please, I wasn't for me, that thing,
Yeah, Angry. It's funny because I'm hearing a lot of people say they didn't particularly care for Angry. When I first heard that song when it was released, I thought it was fantastic. I loved the opening guitar intros.
Yeah, I did as well. I did as well. But I because it was the only song that we'd had at that particular time. I sort of, I played it many times, and I found that I got bored with it fairly quickly. So I kind of agree.
I could see that happening. I guess I could see that because it is a little bit, I don't want to say repetitive, but there's not much of interest, but not much in it to hold your interest, perhaps. Yeah. But I remember listening to the album, and when I put it on, Angry comes on, I'm happy. And then when the second song, Get Close, came on, I was even happier.
Yeah, I really like that. And I forgot to mention the darn saxophones in my review. It's amazing. I got notes here, folks. Okay, this is my Rolling Stones notes. I mean, I got tons of notes, everything. And I forgot to mention the sax on that. And I forgot to mention Steve Jordan on the drums, which I think he does a fantastic job on the songs that he drums on. But Jamie here saying that found the new vinyl to be a terrible pressing. Somebody I heard said it sounded great pressing.
Yes, I've heard that the vinyl mastering, the pressing is excellent. I haven't played my vinyl yet, so I don't know. I've listened to the CD quite a few times.
I've played mine and really, really happy with it. It's really quiet, great highs, great lows on it. It sounds fabulous.
That's what I've heard. In fact, I heard that it's even quiet into the run-out groove.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Do you think Paul rocked even harder because he figured it was the Stones, and that's his interpretation? Maybe not, but yeah, maybe.
It's difficult to know whether he's come up with that himself or whether he's been asked to play it in that way. It's difficult to know, really.
Exactly, and it's kind of what the song demanded. A song like that, and they're cursing in it, and they're making it as dirty as they can, or dirty sounding. So a dirty fuzzy bass is perfect for it.
In the comments, are you guys familiar with October 1's songs he's talking about? Do you think Bite My Head Off is comparable? Do you see that comment? I don't want to put it up, but I know what those are, those songs. I don't know,
I don't know what October 1 is.
Don't know those songs. Okay. But there's so much stuff here. We got stuff we want to say, but there's so much stuff here to follow as well.
But with that bass on Bite My Head Off, you kind of fix onto the little solo bit in the middle, but that fuzzy bass is going on throughout the whole song, and that adds to the filthiness of that song.
Yeah,
right, the overall feel. Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of what the song demanded.
Yeah,
you needed that. And Get Close. I mean, like you said, Joe, that sax.
Oh yeah, when I heard that right away, I liked the second song. I'm like, oh, this is good too.
Yeah. That's kind of like the song "Slave" on "Tattoo You." That has a good sax pieces in it as well.
It's really good. It's got that very funky sort of drum intro from Steve Jordan on it, and like you say, the sax solo is superb in it.
Yeah. And you said, oh, well, we're going to talk about. I was going to make comments about Elton John, but we'll pretty soon we should get to the songs. I think actually.
Yeah, why don't we do that? That's fine.
Yeah, yeah. Start me up, etc. I'm sorry, folks, if I can't get everybody on here. Oh, I want Kid O'Toole. Yeah. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I heard Stevie Wonder. Maybe you're talking about Stevie Wonder early on. You don't hear him as much, but he has a whole part where you can hear him later, right? Am I right?
Oh, I think he comes through loud and clear on when right at the intro. You can really hear Stevie.
I think there are parts where you can.
I'm not hearing him.
Yeah. You know what it is, and that's the thing. Other than Lady Gaga, none of the other sort of guest musicians, well, and Paul, none of them are really doing anything that some other studio musician couldn't have done, in my opinion. Like even Elton John on the piano, he's not a standout. You don't hear him singing. So, this isn't, Paul and Stevie doing Ebony and Ivory. It's not a collaboration of that sort, So they come in, they play basically on a Stones song. And is one person I know actually said, they could have just forgotten about these guest musicians and had just any other talented musician come in and play the same parts,
Yeah.
But I think it honestly, and I was going to talk about it later if we're talking about the song, but since we mentioned the Stevie Wonder and brought it up, Sweet Sounds of Heaven, that's my favorite song on the album.
Is it?
That is such a classic, and I can see that winning a Grammy Award. And can you just imagine the Rolling Stones, Stevie Wonder, and Lady Gaga are on TV doing that song on the Grammy show? Come on.
That would be
a must-see TV moment.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, let's do it now. Let's start with the first track, officially. The first track, "Angry," which was the first single, which I liked immediately. I liked it. I didn't think it was anything like brand new from them sounding. It kind of was reminiscent of the good old stuff I like. And again, I get "Start Me Up" vibes from it, at least when it starts out. But I just love it. I really enjoy it. What do you guys think?
You want to go up first, Tom?
Yeah, no, I really loved "Angry" when it first came out. I thought it was a fantastic video. It's a typical, what I would call a typical Stones opener, in the same sort of vein as, say, "Start Me Up" or "Brown Sugar," that they've used on previous albums as track one. It is a powerful opener. I just found that repeated plays, I started to tire of it quite quickly. Before the album would come out. It's not a bad track. If I was giving it a score, it'd probably be about 7.5 or something like that out of 10.
Yeah, and for me, like you guys said, powerful introduction. It was definitely like a blast from the past. You hear "Start Me Up" and all these other great tunes by the Stones, and it's like, okay, this is a classic Stones type of song. And I like that about it. And then you see the video, and it feeds into that. And you see the billboards from different moments throughout the Stones' history. And quite frankly, I enjoyed the video, but I stopped watching it because I found it to be a little bit distracting. And I just want to hear the song.
Yeah, the videos. That was one of the complaints about MTV back in the day when it started. Is visually limit a song. It limits a song visually, or maybe it distracts or something. But then again, how many songs do you think that there are that actually people like because they were exposed to it first on an MTV video? So it could go either way.
Absolutely.
Just keep my eye on some comments here. Somebody was asking, Matthew Smith said, "Do you think the album will top the chart?" I think it deserves to, and I hope it does. But I don't know these days if it would happen. Be nice if it did. Yeah. All right. So the second track we talked a little bit about Get Close. We talked about the sax on there, and anybody want to elaborate?
Oh,
I like it.
I mean, we said it. The real stars on that song are the drummer, Steve Jordan, and what he does, and of course James King on sax. I mean, shining moment. And when that second song came on, I said, "This is even better than Angry."
Yeah, that me too.
And it's also got that really hooky chorus as well, which gives the song a big...
Yeah, I said that earlier. Yeah, so much of that stuff, that's what I like about my favorite songs most of the time. They don't all have to have a catchy chorus or a hook or something, but I find a lot of that in here, in certain songs, so it stays with me. It resonates in my mind. And I'm the only one I've heard so far say when the song begins, I just feel like I'm almost something like listening to a cousin of Can't You Hear Me Knocking. That was me when I first started hearing the beginning. I'm like, oh, it reminds me of that little... People are always looking for that. This sounds like that. It kind of reminds me of this. But that not all of them, but those two. Angry, which a little start me up at first, and then Get Close. Then things get kind of like... I don't know, more soulful with Depending on You.
Yeah, well, it's a slower
laid back
ballad. Some of the lyrics on this are not classic Stones lyrics, but this has some interesting lyrics. Me sing, what does he say? I invented the game.
Lyrics
I lost like a fool or something.
Man, it takes a while.
I'm too
the
old
lyrics are this big for me.
Too young to die and too old to lose. That's why I'm depending on you or something.
There's clever lines here, but I can't read them all.
Yeah. I know the print is small, but
they're good lyrics.
It's good lyrics, and I think it's good because some of the lyrics, and perhaps this one, they speak to the fact that the Stones, like us, are getting older, and sitting here at my age, I can relate to this.
Now she's
today when I went to Target, I had pains in my leg and couldn't walk.
Watch his video of the purple vinyl for more details.
Yeah, watch my video on Rob Skewer Music.
It says now she's giving her love to somebody new. I invented the game, but I lost like a fool. Now I'm too young for dying and too old to lose because I was depending on you.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of good lyrics in that. A lot of good lyrics as we go on.
I like how it builds. I mean, it's a ballad, but it's a full band ballad. But it builds as it goes through the song. It builds, so it starts off quite pared down, but then it builds as it goes through, and we get strings and we get oohs and ahs and stuff like that. I think it's a good track. It's a good track.
Right.
All right. So then we go on. All right, the one that a lot of people are talking about, "Bite My Head Off," that has Paul McCartney on the bass at the fuzz that was fuzz sound utilized.
Yes.
Okay, let's go. What do you guys think? Anybody?
Love it. Just love it.
Is that your favorite track?
It's my favorite track. It's not my favorite track just because Paul's on it.
Yeah, I know. People think that, right? Yeah.
It just is my favorite track. It just rocks. It's dirty. It's down and dirty. It's old school Stones. It's punky. I just love it. I just love it. And it's also really catchy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
it is. And let's face it, Paul's hopping a bass with fitted with a fuzz box. Come on.
Yeah. And he really does try hard. I think he might have thought, hey, this is a Stones song. Let's really go for it, But I mean, it's a dirty sounding, messy kind of song in a good way. And I just love it. I love that part in the middle when he says, hey, Paul, play a little bass, Mick says, or something like that. And that's a nice little touch, I got to say, that I love. Yeah, it's really, really an intense track, a good hard, punky rocker.
Right. And it's kind of what the album needs right after Depending on You.
Yeah, the sequencing's good.
And then you get this nice, dirty, hard rocking song. It's perfect.
All right, and then we have the next song is called "A Whole Wide World."
Another hard rocking song.
There you go. Oh yeah. Well, and what do you
Oh
think? The
man.
lyrics too. I used to the streets I used to walk on are full of broken glass.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say
Well, this.
glass.
I mean,
Glass.
this. I don't know if this is the song that sort of gave rise to the title of the album, but it seems to make that reference to the
Yeah, it
broken
talks about
glass. I mean,
diamonds.
Hackney Diamonds is, the after like a car windshield is shattered and somebody's breaking into a car, that shards of glass and the broken glass are referred to in Hackney as Hackney Diamonds. Yeah. Although I understand Hackney is now a more upscale town.
So Hackney
was back in perhaps the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, Hackney is probably about 5 or 6 miles from where I live, and so
it's a little further for me.
It's kind of in the East End of London. It used to be really run down, and it became a bit gentrified in the 80s when the sort of the yuppies moved in. So it's a bit more upmarket now.
Okay.
But, but he's talking about the streets that he grew up in were in Dartford, which isn't even in London. It's in Kent. It's in the home.
But you know what it is? It sort of, in my mind, it sort of gives me that feeling of having an element of what's happening currently with the whole smash and grab, especially here in the States, where people are breaking into stores and jewelry counters and cars, and here you are, broken.
Yeah, I wonder if that's if that reminds us of that, or if that's what he was thinking.
I don't know. And in this song, they're talking about broken glass, and then the next song, they're using diamond in the lyrics.
And some of the lyrics in this: when the whole wide world's against you, and you're standing in the rain, when all your friends have let you down and treat you with disdain, when the whole wide world's against you, and life's got you on the run. You think the party's over, but it's only just begun.
And who out there hasn't felt that way?
Yeah. I kind of interpreted that as being an uplift. That's a kind of an uplifting thing for us old codgers.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
That what he's saying is, just because you're old, it doesn't mean you can't party and that sort of stuff. So I thought. That was an uplifting message. I think this is one of the strongest songs on the album, Whole Wide World. I said in my review of it that I thought it was catchy enough and strong enough. It could be a single. It could be a single, and it could be a hit.
Yeah, but, great guitar work on it.
Great song. Oh, man. Great song.
Great rocking song.
Yeah, and Beetle Eddie asks, how do you compare these to some of their classics? Isn't that hard to do? I mean, the classics are so established already. This is just brand new.
Right.
It's a really good question, Beetle Eddie, but I think that's something that will get answered in time. When we've lived with these songs for when these songs are as old as some of those classics, or maybe not as old as some of those classics, but when they've been around for a few years, we'll see whether we still want to go back to these songs like we want to go back to Wild Horses or anything from that sort of era.
Yeah, let's face it, age is what makes anything a classic.
Yeah,
and these haven't aged enough.
Well, I think Bite My Head Off is as good as stuff like Shattered or She's So Cold or something like that. I think it's as good, in my opinion. Sorry, in that era. And Dream...
I think Whole Wide World could fit into that, honestly.
Which we started talking a little about before. Dreamy Skies, which was, for me, a real pleasant surprise, and I loved it. It's one of my very favorite tracks on it. It's country now. I know it's country tinged, and when I made my review, I said ballad, and I'm like, it's not a ballad. So I went in there and I chopped that out, later. But anyway, because it's slow, But I love this with Jagger saying, "Well, I got to take a break from it all," and all this, and because the wind in the wilderness calls. I don't want to start singing it, I just need some peace from the storms. Got to take a break from it all, and on and on.
Right.
And I like some of the. What's the one about the owl? I can't find it faster. And I won't hear the sirens or the maddening crowds, just the bark of a fox and the hoot of an owl. It's a slow, bluesy, countryish song, and I really love it.
And I love that style of country type honk song that the Stones do. I mentioned before, Beggar's Banquet is my favorite Stones album, and this is along the lines of Factory Girl, No Expectations, what else? Faraway Eyes, things like that, and I love this song. I mean, so far I've loved every song on this album.
I like it better than Faraway Eyes, even, believe it or not. I think from Some Girls.
Yeah, probably.
I don't.
You're not big on it, Tone.
It hasn't. It just hasn't dropped. It's not because it's country, because I like country and I really like the Stones doing country. It just doesn't. It just hasn't really clicked with me yet. And maybe this will be one of the things. It's that happens later. I'm not sure if there are growers on this album. There probably are, but I found I played it 3 times, and I found that the tracks that I liked on play 1. The tracks that I liked the best on play 1 were still the same tracks that I liked best on play 3. So nothing sort of got elevated, but that might happen in time. And I will keep persevering.
Keep trying,
guys.
I do have one song coming up a little later that's might be a grower for me. It's my least favorite on this album. I still like it, but it's my least favorite.
For me, as I said earlier, I mean, it's like incredibly odd for me to listen to a song, even some solo Beatles albums, and like everything right away. I liked everything right away on here. But for me, I heard it about 4 times now. With repeated plays, it just got better and better. They got better and better, and more, visual. I got more images from the lyrics. Things like it. You do have to play an album a lot. That said, I still don't like Pet Sounds. I'm sorry. I played it like 3 times.
I love Pet Sounds.
I'm like that with Pet Sounds.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Some of it's great. Some of it isn't. I think it's one of the most overrated albums.
I'm with you, Tone. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's not
all
bad.
Right, let's not bring up Wildlife.
No, it's got 3 good songs on it. It's not bad. Totally bad. Oh no, Julio, you watching? It's his favorite album. No, Ram and Wildlife.
Okay.
Julio's 2 favorite.
Wildlife stinks. What an awful album.
It's good for what it is.
I do want to mention there's a comment by FD Superstar.
Please do.
The Japanese version living in a ghost town on CD and asking why does Japan get bonus tracks?
Yeah, right. That happens with everybody, and
I mean, I was disappointed when I heard that this was not going to be on the album, but you know what? It wouldn't have fit on the album.
No, I agree. I'm sorry. Somebody had asked. I don't know who asked earlier about that. Do you think Living in a Ghost Town should have been on it? I enjoyed Living in a Ghost Town. I like it as a one-off kind of thing, like a single. And I thought it was even more for the COVID era. I mean, when that was going around, is why they did that. I thought,
It was
the lockdown tune.
Songs that they all recorded their parts separately because we were in lockdown at the time, and they all recorded their parts separately and they put it all together.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it fits on here so well. I would have been all right with me if it was an extra track or something. But
I really liked it when it came out.
Oh yeah.
All right. There you go. Me too. I love Bip Bop.
I like Bip Bop actually.
No. You do? Oh, okay.
I do.
All right, now
I'll admit to that.
If I'm right, so far we've had Steve Jordan on the drums through all of these, and I think he does an incredible job on the drums. But now we get a couple of tracks, the 2 tracks that have Charlie Watts, on the drums, okay? And one of them is Mess It Up, which is one of my favorite tracks on the album. I love it. It's good old-fashioned rock and Stones. Well, you got Charlie on there.
Right.
But I also like the main line. You think I'll mess it up, all for you. Try not to sing, folks. I'm trying to spare you. Mess it up. I only heard it a few times, but I like that. That's another catchy chorus or something that I like.
If he sings, he'll mess it up.
Yeah, I'll mess it up for you, folks, for you, if I do it. So there you go. What do you think of Mess It Up, guys?
I think it's a great song. I think you can tell that it's Charlie on drums, and it definitely sounds like old Stones, because let's face it is old Stones.
Right.
It's the classic Stones line.
Right. That's why it sounds like the old Stones. Right. Which track has Bill Wyman on it?
The next one.
The next one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Live by the Sword.
Tone, any thoughts on Mess It Up?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's it's for me, it's sort of it's a Stones by numbers type song, a typical Stones song. I really love that production trick at the beginning where the song starts, but it's very low volume, and then suddenly it stops, and then they all.
Yeah, I was like, "What's up?" That's not going to be. I hope that's not going to be the way it's going to sound at beginning.
Yeah, I really like that. I agree with Rob that you can tell that it's Charlie Watts play. He's like Ringo. Yeah. He's got that swing, and you can tell it's him.
Well, I could also tell it's him after haven't heard the other tracks and then hearing that, too.
Oh yeah, and Steve Jordan is perfectly competent, and he does an excellent job. I mean, Charlie handpicked him, didn't he, to replace him, at least temporarily?
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah. I didn't know that.
I believe so. So, but to hear Charlie again on drums, it's like, this is great. And yes, we're coming up to that.
Yeah, the next song is another Charlie Watts on drums track that I like a lot. Another track I like a lot, Live by the Sword. And I'm glad Kit said this because I wanted Robert to talk about it. Kit says, I loved Elton John's piano, particularly on Live by the Sword, pure rock and roll. And Rob, I know you got a feeling on that.
Yes. Well, again, Elton John's on 2 tracks on this. And on the first one, Get Close, I didn't feel like I could really distinguish or hear Elton's participation in it as much. And we get to this one, and it's like, okay, here's Elton on piano.
Yeah. Right.
And Elton John is, I mean, after the Beatles, who are my favorite band of all time, and I would lump all 4 solo artists in that grouping. Elton John is number 2. I love Elton John that much. I actually didn't even know Elton was going to be on this album.
No, nor did I.
So I bought the album and I saw that and I was like,
yeah,
wait a minute. We have Paul McCartney, Stevie Wonder, Lady Gaga, and Elton John.
That's the reason you like this album. I know it. Yeah. That's the reason.
Yeah,
it's the only reason.
Right. You guys wanted it for Paul. I got it for Elton.
Like I say again with the Paul thing, for me, it's just icing on the cake, a cherry on top that Paul happens to be part of this. It has nothing to do with it for me, but it's good what he does.
Yeah.
So let's go.
But I think this is another fantastic song. I really do.
Tone. Yeah, like I say, Rob, on Get Close, Elton is kind of a little bit buried in the mix, isn't he? But on this one, you can really hear him pounding the piano on this. So it's a good track. I don't feel like these 2 opening tracks on side 2 are as strong as the songs that I really like on side 1, like Get Close, Bite My Head Off, and Whole Wide World. But they're still great tracks. They're still great songs.
Interesting you said that, Tone, because I hadn't figured out yet. I only heard the CD, so I was wondering where are they going to open up side 2, and
right.
Yeah, that's
These 2 open up side 2, but I think that these are probably older tracks. Obviously they feature Charlie and one case Bill, so they're seemingly older tracks that presumably were written back in a period where, in my opinion, Stones albums were hit or miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was something that I picked up on here. Where was it? Yeah. So Live by the Sword. That was produced by Don Was. So what album would that have been from? What they were working on? Which album has Don Was produced? That's
Trying to remember.
they've got Charlie's drums on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could say. I'm not that big,
No.
not that deep into the Stones catalog.
Maybe somebody can tell us if they know.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't know.
By the way, yes, that was a Target. It's a Target exclusive on purple vinyl. Rob and I each got one. Yeah, and I don't have. Thank goodness. Thanks to, well, Beatly Tone, but I also saw on Mazzy's video how bad the gatefold was. Therefore, I didn't know. Between the two of you, I knew I don't have to take the shrink off. I'm just going to slice the side. I'm not going to. Well, I wonder because the purple variant, who knows if there's a different inside on that. I don't know. So
now you got us wondering. Thanks, Joe. I was going to leave mine.
Yeah, so you could be the one. I don't want to say nothing. You want to be the guinea pig, but yeah.
But I do like Live by the Sword, and I think the overall gist of it is there are consequences to your action. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
That's my answer.
Thank 2019. Yeah. So some of these, how many of these go back on Bill Wyman? That's the one Bill Wyman is on, right? He's only on one track. Bill Wyman.
Yes, that's the only one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. The songs are from the 2019 sessions. Bill Wyman was an overdub.
Oh, okay.
And Voodoo Lounge was produced by Don Was from '94. Yeah. Absolutely. Time takes time. I knew that name sounded familiar. Don Was. Okay.
So what do you think about Live by the Sword, Joe?
No, I think it's great too. I like the lyrics in it again too, and I like Elton John. I can hear more, like you said. I didn't really think about it until you had said that you didn't hear him in Get Close, right? And then I said, next time I listen to it, I'm going to listen to hear if I can hear him more. But no, I agree, you can hear him more prominently on here. But I mean, I like the lyrics. What can I say? And I think there's now I'm forgetting it because I'm getting the songs a little mixed up because they're not in our psyche permanently yet. But I think there was a main little chorus or something here I like too that I like, but I can't remember it now. I'm looking at the lyrics. Oh, guys, I'm looking in this little tiny book with these teeny tiny.
Look at that. How small
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good song. I mean, let's go on to Driving Me Too Hard. I thought you said, Robert, that might be, if you were going to list them, that might be your least favorite.
That's it. Yeah, so you got to start with me. This is the one that I said may have to grow on me. If I had to pick a least favorite song, I still like it, but my least favorite is definitely this song, Driving Me Too Hard. It's a nice middle of the road rock song, I suppose, but
yeah,
I wasn't particularly impressed with it musically or lyrically.
I don't have much to say about it. I don't know. This one's not. It's not. It probably doesn't stick in my mind as much as the others, but I know I like them all. But I don't have much to say on it. How about you, Tone?
Yeah, no, I like this one. This is the one that for me, the intro sounds like the same or very similar to the intro of Tumbling Dice, and the whole feel of the song feels like 70 Stones to me. So that's why I like it. Yeah. I don't think it reaches the heights of Tumbling Dice if we're comparing it against classics, but it's a track that I like.
I'll have to listen to it with that in mind. Tumbling Dice. Maybe that'll help me learn to love it.
Tumbling Dice.
It just sounded like, I don't know, not like I'd heard it before, but a mix between I'd heard it before and I don't know if I want to hear it again. Okay. But again, it's not a song. If I'm listening to the CD, it's not a song I skip. I listen to it. I like it. But if I had to pick a least favorite, this is it.
Well, that's like the next song, which is my probably least favorite, other than Rolling Stone Blues, which I'm not counting. And that's Tell Me Straight. I don't dislike it at all. It's just the least for me with Keith Richards singing on this one, right? And he does a good job on it overall. But it's just not a favorite of mine. What do you guys think of it? Anybody?
Mr. Beatly Tone go first.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question because because I was concentrating on a comment.
Yeah, don't even go there. Don't even give it the attention. The thing is,
I racked my brain.
But don't go into it.
You can pull it up. I just want
no, we don't want to pull it up, I guess.
Here's the problem with StreamYard is that you can't delete just a comment. If you delete the comment, the whole person gets deleted too. Right. So
I don't want it deleted. It's fine. It's fine.
No, it's fine. Is it funny enough for you? You think?
It's funny. I
don't see it personally.
Which insect?
I don't see it. A butterfly.
Let me guess. A beetle. A beetle.
How is that respectfully?
Yeah, it's not respectful. That's why I didn't want to put it up there. You asked, but you're lucky, Rack, my brain. You're very lucky because I could have just deleted it and you'd be gone as well. I wish they had the option here just to get rid of the comment, not necessarily the commenter, but you can't do that. So
he looks more like a beetle.
I don't think so, Rack. Let's just go past. I don't agree. Anyway, I don't agree at all. You notice these people never want to show you what they look like. You notice that? Yeah. Isn't that interesting? But okay, let's continue with this.
Tell me straight.
I like this
song a lot.
I love it. This was the big surprise to me that they gave the most ballady ballad
yes
to Keith to sing.
That's true.
And a raspy voice.
Yeah, I really like his voice on that. Thank you.
I think
that
I think it fits.
Great song. I really like it, and it was just a big surprise for me that they gave the most gentle song on the album to rough old Keith to sing.
That's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah. I love this song. I think Keith was the perfect pick to sing this. I love the raspiness in his voice. I love the lyrics. I mean, he's singing, "Tell me straight, don't make me wait. Is my future in the past?" I mean,
is there a little touch of rewind forward there?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Tell me straight, am I going to live another 1,000 years?
He was hanging out with Ringo.
Yeah. They're both putting their futures in the past, or something similar.
But again, it speaks to an aging society that I happen to be part of, and that's it. It's like you look at it and you say, is my future the past? And it's the same here. You see in the comments. How does this compare to classic? Like we're always looking at the past.
I certainly am. I live for the past.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's
but
a comfortable place.
I heard this song and I said, "Oh, you know what? This is another great song. This is a winner. I love this song."
Okay, wow, you guys I got to listen to it another fifth time and make it like it as much as the others. Well, then we have another big track, and it's the longest track. I think once I saw it was over 7 minutes, if I recall, and that's with Lady Gaga, "Sweet Sounds of Heaven." Sweet Sounds of Heaven,
and Stevie Wonder on it as well.
And Stevie Wonder, I'm sorry, on piano. Yeah, of course. So I'm, what can I say about it? It's sublime. I called it sublime. I don't know Lady Gaga. I know of her. I know she's very good. She sang with all kinds of people, including Tony Bennett and so forth. I like her a lot on here. I like what I'm hearing from her on here. Does this mean I'm going to go out and start buying Lady Gaga records? I wonder. But I do like the way she sounds on here and the way Mick and her, contrast each other. They fit good together. I like the fact that, I almost thought the song was over, and then it kind of comes back when she does her own thing, kind of.
Yes.
She's lending support more or less at the first half, or whatever, 3/4, whatever. And then when she comes back later, it's more her for a while. And I don't know, it just has a great overall ambiance to it that I just think is the feelings of like a classic.
Yes.
Kind of thing, Robert, I know you just said before.
Oh, I said before, this is my favorite track on the album. This song, when they released it and I heard this, as much as I liked Angry, I said, this blows it away. And I was so super impressed by Lady Gaga. Now, I'm not a Lady Gaga fan. I know some of her songs, Bad Romance and Born This Way and stuff like that. But I heard this and it was like, this is pure perfection. To this day, I listen to the song. In fact, I listened to it this morning. I get goosebumps listening to this. I literally feel goosebumps. It is that enjoyable for me. And Stevie Wonder, and I said it before, I would love to see this win a Grammy, or at least be nominated for a Grammy Award, and I would love to see the Stones, Lady Gaga, and Stevie Wonder on stage at the Grammys performing this song. That would be a moment that, much like Michael Jackson at the Motown, what was it, 25th anniversary show or something, where he did the moonwalk.
Yeah, I remember that moment. That was a classic moment in music history.
Yeah, and this is a long song, and honestly, around the 5:15 spot, it sounds like it could have ended at that point. And in fact, Lady Gaga laughs a little bit at that point, but then it goes on. And
doesn't Mick say something to her like, "Come on, do it," or something? Something encouragement. I thought. I forget what he says. Something like, "Come on, sing."
Yes, there is something.
Sing me something sweet, maybe. Or something
I can't think. You know what it is? I'm just so like.
Well, we haven't heard it that much yet. It's brand new.
Oh, I adore this song. This is. I'm telling you, it gives me goosebumps, and it's not. Who was it? What was her name on "Give Me Shelter"? Mary Clayton. Who was it?
I don't know. Yes, I think
something like that. She was perfect for that, and again, my showing signs of old age. The woman that does the song on the Pink Floyd.
Come on, you can leave it. You make put us on the spot. We don't know.
Those people were perfect for it. Yeah. I think Lady Gaga has lifted the song into that category.
And I don't understand, with respect, I don't understand this comment. Wild Horses is better and darker. I mean, it's a totally different thing. I don't understand what I love Wild Horses, but I don't know what the correlation is with this one.
Yeah. It's my favorite Stones track.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wild Horses is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's up there. If it's not my favorite, it's top 3.
But to me, it's apples and oranges, or I don't know. But I don't know.
And unlike you, Joe, I will be exploring Lady Gaga's catalog.
Oh, you will?
I will. Yeah.
All right.
Particularly later stuff. Tony Bennett. Yeah, I want to hear that stuff. She did the A Star Is Born remake with Bradley Cooper. There's a song from that I'd like to hear, which I've probably heard but didn't really pay much attention to.
Maybe she could call herself something different, a real name other than Gaga, Lady Gaga. I don't know.
She could join a Queen tribute band and call herself Lady Goo Goo, and they could do.
That help?
Claire Torrey, that's the one.
Yes, Claire Torrey. Thank you. Gig in the Sky.
Thank you.
And another song that just gives me chills.
You talk about, short-term memory. Tone, have you gone on with this track? I don't think you have said much about it.
I haven't.
I've been ranting too much about
it. to Robert talk about it. So yeah, I like the track. So this is kind of a bluesy, gospel-y song. The Stones have done a few songs like that before. It's a good track. For me, it goes on too long, but it goes on too long because of that little break at 5 minutes. Where so what you've got in this song is you've got it starts off with just Mick singing on his own, and then after about a minute and a half, they start doing this call and response thing. So Mick sings a line, Lady Gaga sings a line back at him, and then when it stops after 5 minutes, which is kind of the natural end of the song, which turns out into being a false ending. Then, if you like, the roles are reversed when they're doing that little ad-libbing bit at the end that they've included on it, where Lady Gaga's calling the shots and Mick is doing
she takes the lead, right?
That's what it is.
I like both of those elements, but maybe not both of them in for so long. So I'm thinking like 5 minutes is probably about enough of that song, but I'd like both of those elements condensed into that 5 minutes. So I'm glad that they're both there.
Right.
But I think it's like a little bit long.
I was going to say, I don't. Some people have said that. I respect that, but for me, it doesn't feel long at all.
Not for me either.
Okay.
And Lee Sana, you're asking if there was a country tinge track. That would be Dreamy Skies.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Dreamy Skies. All right. So I think we have the last closing track, which to me again is just that's like Her Majesty or something, on Abbey Road. It's just kind of like tagged on, or Maggie May or something on Let It Be, Rolling Stone Blues, Muddy Waters.
Yes.
And
not an original cover. But...
No. And it's been said that maybe this is a hint that maybe they're saying goodbye, or this is like maybe their last album, because they're kind of like giving a nod to their roots, the bluesy stuff, and also where they got their name, Rolling Stone Blues, and the Rolling Stones. Right. And I'm repeating myself, but I really think that if this is going to be their last album, they went out with a bang. In fact, they could have called this one a bigger bang.
The biggest bang, yeah.
The biggest bang. And in a way, I'm hoping, because go out on top, go out with one of your best albums. I think over the years, people are going to say that they think this is one of the Stones' best albums of all, if they are not doing that already. Thoughts? Anybody?
I agree with everything you said, basically. If this is their last album, what a fantastic way to finish. And I think putting that song on, number one, I was a little bit surprised to think, well, gee, they haven't put this on an album before, But as you said, Joe, it's where they got their name. They started out as the Blues Boys, Mick and Keith, and eventually changed their names to the Rolling Stones when Brian Jones was basically pressed to say what the name of the band was, and he happened to see the album there with the Muddy Waters, and he said, he saw the song Rolling Stone Blues and basically came up with Rolling Stones. Mm-hmm. So what a great way to end it, to say, and they were a blues band. Let's face it, they were those first few albums, they were basically a cover band, doing bluesy rock and roll.
That's certainly what Paul McCartney said to Howard Stern.
And the Americans, America, where the blues originated, were eating up all of the British blues coming back to us in the form of Rolling Stones and other groups, the Animals, and the Beatles, and But what a great way, in my opinion, what a great way to finish the album, back where you started, basically.
Yeah, full circle.
And a nice little nod to Brian Jones. The album is actually dedicated, I don't remember where it says it on here, but there's a dedication with love to Charlie Watts.
I saw Charlie Watts. I didn't see Brian Jones or anything.
They've got but Brian Jones came up with the name, seeing the song.
That's the nod.
In a way, it's a nod to Brian Jones. You got Bill on here, and you got Charlie on here. What a way to go out. If they go out.
Read more credits and things here. Yeah, dedicated with love to Charlie Watts. Yes. Yeah. Well, any closing thoughts? I guess we covered pretty much all of it. Okay, and anybody else? I guess I covered everything in here, unless anybody sees anything. I think I'm up to date here. Yeah. We think they're definitely getting a Grammy for this.
Yeah,
maybe.
My closing comment would be: this is not just a Hackney diamond; this is a gem.
That's good. All right. Well, that's it, folks. So each one of us here like the album. It's going to be doing well, I think. I think word of mouth is spreading already.
2 thumbs up.
So thank you everybody in the comments for commenting, and I'm sorry, but racked my brain. You know, he's gone.
I'm sorry we couldn't get to all the comments, but
he's gone. Once he said, "Oh, thank you, oh Master Mayo, for not for letting me go," that's enough. So anyway, other than that, thank you, Beatly Tone, for being here on this show. It was
Thanks for having me on.
And of course, once again, remember his channel, Beatly Tones Beatles channel on YouTube. And Robert S, of course, has Robscure Music. See, that's how clever that is, Robscure.
Yeah,
you got the Rob, you got the S in Scure.
Yeah,
R-O-B capital S-C-U-R-E.
All right. So everybody,
that's you're good at cryptic crosswords as well, aren't you?
Yes, cryptic crosswords.
I didn't come up with the name, actually.
Oh, didn't you?
No, I did.
That's right. It's really good.
I like doing that. I like things like that, like, connecting things together or whatnot. But yeah. All right, folks. I'm off to listen to, let's see, what am I going to do? I'm going to go off listen to Dirty Work after I'm done with this. So I'm going to give it another listen. No, I'm not. But all right. We'll talk to you all soon. And thank you, everybody. And watch our channels. All right. And I'm becoming a real Stone. I always liked the Stones, but I'm a real Stones fan now more than ever. So I'm going to be out there listening to stuff by them. All right. See you all soon. Bye.
All right. So long.
Bye. Bye. Bye.